Hi Maker, I'm Angel with FleeceFun.com, and today we are doing a Cricut Maker project. We're actually doing three party projects. We're going to make a banner, some confetti to kind of sprinkle all over the table, and this really pretty centerpiece, all using the Cricut Maker. I'm so excited to show you these projects and how easy they are to make. Oh, and special thank you to Cricut for sponsoring this video. Now, a lot of my tutorials in which I use the Cricut Maker they're more advanced. I assume you know what you're doing. This is beginner focused, so I'm going to walk you through step by step, share some knowledge. So if you've been thinking about a Cricut Maker or you're not quite sure what a Cricut Maker is, stay tuned because I'm going to share with you my tips and tricks and maybe help you make up your mind on the Cricut Maker. All right, for this project you will need the following: a Cricut Maker, fine point blade, 4 sheets of pattern 12x12 cardstock. I use the Mystic Deluxe foil embossed paper, 1 sheet of plain white cardstock, 4 yards of ribbon, Cricut fine point pen, light grip mat, that's the blue mat, Cricut Design Space, the Cricut Design Space file, I have a link to that below, Cricut Access, Rotary Blade, belt, fabric grip mat, that's the pink mat, knife blade, strong grip mat, the purple mat, masking tape, Cricut chipboard, I use the Damask sampler, glue gun and glue sticks, gold mason jars, styrofoam balls, bamboo skewer sticks, pins, foam for the bottom of the box, and a wood box. Okay, now that you have all those items, we're going to start off simple here. We're going to start off basic. We're going to start off with the banner. So the first thing you will do when you start off any Cricut project is you will open up Design Space. Design Space is a free program that's available. As a matter of fact, before you even buy a Cricut machine, I tell all my friends, go and download Design Space and play in it, because this is the basis for everything you're going to make. It's going to be through this program. Now the cool thing is that you can download it as an app onto your phone, or you can download it as a program onto your laptop or desktop. So you have options there. And even better yet, you can save things to the cloud, so you can work on something a little bit on your phone and then save it to the cloud and work on it on your desktop as well. It's pretty cool, right? So in Design Space, you can upload images, you can play around with shapes, but they also have something that is kind of my personal favorite called Cricut Access. Now for a low monthly fee or annual fee, you have access to over thousands, I should say, of images and projects that Cricut has to offer. And it's everything from holiday projects to t-shirt sayings to 3D objects you can make, some pretty felt flowers, it's my personal favorite, all available through Cricut Access. Now, if you're used to the old Cricut way of doing things on the cartridges, you will see how revolutionary this concept is. It's great. I love the fact that I can just go and search for whatever I'm looking for and it comes up in Access. So for this project, we're going to make a birthday banner, and all I had to do is search for banner in Cricut, and that came up through all the Access files that are available. Cricut Design Space can be its own deep dive, but to keep things simple and beginner friendly, I've set things up for you. When the project comes up, hit the Make It button. Make sure that your machine is plugged in and the Bluetooth is linked to your computer or phone or tablet. Part of the banner has some drawn elements that use a pen. In this section, I'll show you how to use the pen and fine point blade for beginners to make a party banner. I've set it up so the first 5 mats are the paper banner and confetti items. Set the base material, click Browse All Materials. The Cricut Maker can cut out literally hundreds of materials, so I find it easier to use the search bar than to scroll through everything. Search for lightweight cardstock and select it. Notice that we need to load the pen and the fine point blade for this. Put the pen in the side A and the blade in side B. Put the white cardstock on the light grip mat. Then slide it under the guides on either side, butt it up against the rollers, and load it hitting the arrow button on the Maker. The machine will draw the pen elements first and then cut it out. Cut out mats 2 and 3 in a different color and mats 4 and 5 in another. Pro tip: to easily get the cardstock off the mat, try flipping it and bending the mat to get the paper off. Once you've cut out all the paper elements, put the clear plastic cover back on the mat to help maintain its stickiness during storage. Now you might notice that I am using a blue mat, and I actually have a couple of other colors here too. Mattes are really important. They're not just pretty colors for show. Each color actually serves a purpose. So for example, the blue matte that I'm using, that's the light grip matte, and that's good for lighter paper, like regular printer paper that you might use, or very light cardstock or vinyl is a great way to use the light grip matte. The green matte is the standard grip matte, and that's for heavier cardstocks and that sort of thing. Then the purple is the strong grip matte, and this is good for cardboard or chipboard or wood. But there is something special about this matte that I need to tell you about later. And then of course, there's the pink matte, which is probably one of my favorites, which is the fabric grip matte. And each of these, they have a different amount of tackiness, and even the glue is a little different because it is for whatever media you're working on. So like this is very light, different glue that's not going to stick into your nice fabric. Gather the confetti elements and save them for decorating later. Looks good. Now we're going to just tie the banner together. It's really easy because the holes are already cut there. Take all the banner elements you just cut out and layer them. Line up the little circles on each side of the banner layers. Cut 8-inch sections of ribbon and, threading through the holes on one side of each letter, tie the banner together. Add an extra long length, about 2 feet on either side for hanging. Now I'm going to switch out the tool in the Maker to the Rotary Blade. Now, I have to be honest, I'm a little biased here. Probably my favorite tool on the Cricut Maker. The Rotary Blade cuts fabric. And can I just say, it is like amazing. It cuts all kinds of different kinds of, like name the kind of fabric, it can cut it. Denim, chiffon, burlap, duck cloth, regular cotton, felt. Felt honestly is probably my favorite thing to cut out on the Cricut Maker. I don't like fussy cutting. I don't like cutting that, but I love beautiful felt ornaments and things like that. I love putting it in the Cricut Maker, and it comes out beautifully every single time, and it looks like I cut it perfectly, and it was the machine. Personal favorite right there. So to switch out the tools, it is quick. You just open it up, slide it in, make sure it's sitting in there properly, close it back up, the machine adjusts it, and you're ready to go. In Design Space, we need to tell the machine that we're cutting with a different material. Click the letters that say Base Material Set To. By clicking it, it will allow you to select a different base material. We're going to choose the felt that has a little Cricut symbol next to it. You'll notice that it sets the default to fine point blade. I prefer the fabric mat for flowers, so change that by clicking Edit Tools. This box will come up, click Rotary Blade. Now the Rotary Blade should be selected. Cut out the felt flowers in different colors. That's mats 6 to 11. Tip: using the fabric tongs makes it easier to get the pieces off the fabric mat without touching it. Set the flower pieces aside. We'll have time to assemble the flowers in a minute. Now we're going to use the knife blade on the chipboard, and the knife blade is amazing. It can cut out some amazing shapes. I've cut out wood with it. I've cut out chipboard. I've used it as a template so I can trace over and over again. It is a very handy tool, but you need to keep a few things in mind. One, it is a knife blade and not a laser cutter, which means it can't cut out super tiny things. So you need to make sure that the image you're cutting out and the negative space in it is large enough for the knife blade to properly rotate. So keep that in mind when you're selecting your images. They need to be big enough and have enough space in them that the knife blade can rotate. The other thing is, and I mentioned this earlier, using the strong grip mat, you actually need to tape down the edges using masking tape to really secure it. And that just because those edges can bend a little bit. The reason for this is because the knife blade makes multiple passes on an object. It's not like the fine point blade where it cuts something out and it's done after one pass. It takes multiple passes. And the more intricate your cut, the longer it's going to take. It can take up to an hour if you're depending on the cut. So just be mindful of that. If it's a cut that takes a long time, what I like to do is I set up my machine. I try to stay in there at the machine just to kind of keep an eye on it, but I use it as a good excuse to tidy my space, honestly. So keep that in mind when you're using the knife blade, is that it can take a little time, but the result is gorgeous. All those beautiful cursive cake toppers, yeah, you can make those with the knife blade and some chipboard. Very easy. I'm going to show you how. Make sure that the tape is half on the edge of the material and half on the mat. Make sure the tape doesn't extend off the mat. Replace the rotary blade with the knife blade. The process is exactly the same as with the rotary blade. Push the 4 star wheels all the way to the right side of the roller. The first time this might be difficult to do, they do move, I promise. In Design Space, click Base Material Set 2 and select the correct material, in this case, damask chipboard. To give you the best cut, click Mat 12, making sure that none of the images overlap. Center the word Party. The material is only 11 inches by 11 inches, so make sure that it is within 11 inches on the end. Then select the last party hat. It's not going to fit on the material, so rotate it so it will fit. Then click Save. Load the material into the machine and hit Go or the Cricut button. Once it's done cutting, it will ask you if it needs to make more passes on the material. The cut looked good to me, so I unloaded the mat. All right, now that that is all cut out, it's time to start bringing that centerpiece together. Gather the cut fabric flower pieces and the chipboard pieces. You'll also want a glue gun, mason jar, styrofoam balls, pins, and skewers. Glue the styrofoam ball to the top of each mason jar. For the centerpiece, we'll use a total of 3 jars. Let's start with the felt flowers. For the spiral flowers, start with the outside of the spiral. I like to fold the first bump in half and glue it so the center is nice and tight. Begin to roll the flower and continue to roll it to the end. Once you roll it to the circle at the end, place an X and hot glue across the layers on the bottom. While the glue is still warm, you can fluff and tweak the flower a little. Repeat these steps with all the spiral flowers. The poppies are easy. There's 2 to a flower. Just layer and stick a pin in the middle and place it on the ball. Okay, let's set that aside. For the chipboard pieces, hot glue the skewers to them. For the word party, I use 2, 1 on each side. I love to use pins so I can adjust the flowers as needed. Place the jars in the box and then push the skewers into place. And that's it. You have this gorgeous centerpiece, you have this cute banner, you have this confetti you can spread around on the table, all ready to go for a party. And that ultimately is the fun part about making things with the Cricut Maker, is that whatever that vision is in your head, you can make it a reality. If you can't find the exact colors or things that you want at the store, you can make them. Not only does it make that event extra special and personalized for whoever you're making it for, but you can take personal pride in that you made it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more awesome videos just like this one. And that's it. You have this great little set of party decor just ready to go. Now we just needed an excuse to party. Should we just celebrate that you made some pretty awesome decor? I think we should. Have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to give me a like for this video for my hard work here, and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you know when I add another video just like this one. All right, let me know in the comments below. Are you thinking about Cricut Maker? Are you torn between 2 machines? Let me know and I'll try to answer your questions.